The phone screen flickered in her hand. A robotic voice whispered through her earbuds, low and distorted. In 200 feet, turn left. On-screen text glitched across her GPS map. Keep walking. Emily flows under the buzzing street lamp. Somewhere in the distance, a dog barked. Emily, a college sophomore in Ohio, was walking home after a late-night study session at the library. Normally, she'd stick to the well-lit main street. But tonight, the GPS app suggested a shorter route. At first, it seemed fine. Quiet residential blocks, the occasional parked car. But soon, the app kept rerouting, pulling her off the main road into side streets she didn't recognize. Her phone buzzed. In 100 feet, turn left. Left. The voice dragged unnaturally, like the words were being stretched. Emily frowned. That's not normal. She tried to close the app, but no matter how many times she swiped, the GPS stayed locked on her screen, pulsing with a glowing red arrow. The next turn led her down a cracked sidewalk where the houses looked abandoned, windows boarded, yards overgrown. The air was still, too still. Behind her, footsteps echoed. She spun around, heart pounding. The street was empty. Her phone buzzed again. Text flashed across the screen, flickering like static. You're close. Emily's throat tightened. She quickened her pace. Street signs had no names now, just numbers that made no sense. She passed an intersection. The sign read, Grave Street. The GPS arrow led her to the gates of an old cemetery at the edge of town. The iron bars groaned as she pushed them open. Rows of crooked tombstones stretched into the dark. Her breath turned white in the cold air. Her phone buzzed again, vibrating in her hand until she looked down. You have arrived. Emily raised her eyes. Just ahead, a single grave stood open, freshly dug. Damp soil piled high on either side. A headstone gleamed under the moonlight. Her legs shook as she staggered closer, unable to stop herself. Her phone dimmed, casting just enough light for her to read the inscription. Emily Carter, 2004, 2025. Her stomach dropped. No, this isn't real. A distorted whisper hissed in her earbuds, the GPS voice, now almost human. You have arrived at your final destination. The phone screen went black. From the empty grave, something moved. The next morning, Emily's phone was found lying at the cemetery gate. The GPS history showed her last route ending at her own grave. Her body was never recovered. What would you do if your GPS led you here?
Growing up, there was always one rule in my house: never open the basement door. My parents never explained why. They just said, "He's been down there since you were little." I never asked who he was. Maybe I didn't want to know. Now, years later, I'm back. My parents are gone. The house is mine. And the basement door still sits at the end of the hallway, locked as if waiting. The first night, I heard it again. The sound I remembered from childhood. Scraping, a low shuffle, like someone pacing in the dark. At 3 a.m., I swore I heard humming, a tune I almost recognized. The air grew colder near the door. My breath fogged in the middle of July. I told myself it was old pipes, a draft, my imagination. But then I saw it, scratched into the wood of the basement door from the inside. My name. Over and over again.
Sarah. Sarah.
My heart pounded. I tried to laugh it off, but when I turned, something small slid out from under the door. A teddy bear. My teddy bear. The one I lost when I was 7. I couldn't stay away anymore. I found the key in my father's desk, my hands shaking as I fit it into the lock. The door groaned open. A sour, damp smell poured out, thick and suffocating. I crept down the stairs with a flashlight. Each step echoed, the humming growing louder. And then the beam of light landed on him. A man, tall and thin, stood at the far end of the basement. His face was hidden in shadow, but the way he tilted his head, it was familiar, too familiar. When he stepped forward, the light revealed him. My legs nearly gave out. He looked exactly like me. Older, gaunter, his skin pale and cracked like parchment. But the same eyes, my eyes. His lips curled into a smile that wasn't mine.
I've been waiting, Sarah.
He whispered.
You left me down here.
Flashlight flickered. My breath caught, and in that final moment before darkness swallowed the room, I saw the truth. The chains on the floor weren't holding him back. They'd been unlocked all along. The neighbors say the basement door was wide open the next morning. Sarah's car was in the driveway. Her phone was on the kitchen counter. But Sarah was gone.
He's still down there, waiting.
The last bus had already gone. Emily sat alone beneath a flickering streetlight, drizzle clinging to her hood. Her phone was dead, her sneakers soaked from the walk, and the road stretched emptily into the dark. Every so often, a car passed without slowing, headlights slicing her loneliness for a second before vanishing again. Behind her, the woods shifted, leaves whispering, as though something or someone moved just out of sight. That was when headlights bloomed from the mist. An ancient bus rattled up, its paint flaking, its windows fogged like breath held too long. On the glowing board above the windshield, instead of a route number, a single word glared back at her.
Emily.
The doors hissed open. A gaunt driver leaned into the light. His uniform hung loose, collar frayed, cap tilted low to shadow his hollowed eyes. His lips cracked as he spoke, polite but strange.
It's your stop.
Emily hugged herself tighter. You've got the wrong person,
The bus
he said, voice flat but certain.
is never wrong.
Her throat went dry. Inside, shadowy passengers sat frozen, their faces blurred, as though the glass itself refused to remember them. A drizzle had stopped, the air too still. Even the hum of insects had gone silent. The world felt carved away, leaving only her and the waiting bus. Her voice cracked. "I'm not supposed to be here." The driver's tone sank, heavy with inevitability.
Everyone says that at first.
Then, softer, almost kind.
You can wait, but it always comes back. And next time, you may not have a choice.
Fear rooted her in place, and yet, against every screaming instinct, Emily climbed aboard. The doors sealed shut with a metallic gasp. The air inside was stale, metallic, reeking faintly of rust. She dropped into a seat, eyes fixed on her shoes. But she felt them watching. Slowly, one by one, the passengers turned. The blur lifted. Every face was hers. Dozens of Emily's stared back, her own features stretched into endless variations of dread. One slack-jawed in a silent scream, another grinning too wide, teeth blackened. Another with hollow sockets, tears of blood streaking down her cheeks. Her breath caught in her chest. "No," she whispered, pressing against the window. But her reflection had already changed. Eyes sunken, skin gray, her mouth twisted into a grotesque grin. Her real lips trembled, but the reflection did not obey. The driver chuckled low, the sound rattling like gravel. Plenty of seats left. The bus groaned forward, plunging into a darkness thicker than night. Emily clawed at the door, her cries raw, but the fogged glass revealed a sight that stilled her blood. At another stop, beneath another flickering light, sat a girl in a hood. Her, waiting alone at midnight. The bus thundered past without slowing, her doppelganger shrinking into the dark as if she had never existed. Emily pressed her palms against the glass, her voice shaking. "That can't be me. It can't." The driver didn't answer. The bus just kept rolling, filled with echoes of herself. The last thing Emily heard was the scrape of brakes tightening again, ready for the next stop.
But if you were sitting there, waiting for your ride home, would you get on?
Stay spooked. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more chilling stories.